Blessed is the one who leans toward the broken, who bends down to the weary, who listens to the voice that trembles beneath the noise of the world. I think about this as I walk through the quiet morning field, dew shining on every blade of grass, like tiny lanterns guiding the soft steps of dawn. The air smells of wet earth and cedar, and I feel a gentle reminder that compassion is a seed that grows in the hands of those who choose tenderness over pride. You have always looked upon those in need with eyes that see deeper than the surface, eyes that find the hidden fractures, the aching corners of the human heart. And when sickness or sorrow tightens its grip like winter frost, you stand beside the fragile one as faithfully as the sun, returning after a long and restless night. There are moments when I feel the weight of sorrow pressing into my ribs, moments when fevered thoughts cloud my vision like thick fog rolling down the mountainside. My breath turns shallow, my voice dim, and I wonder if healing will ever find me again. Yet even then, you whisper through the silence, restoring my soul one breath at a time, lifting me gently from the cold ground where my hope had fallen asleep. When shadows gather too, not only within me, but around me, there are those who speak softly in my presence and yet sharpen their words when my back is turned. They pretend concern while secretly weaving threads of betrayal, hoping to see me collapse beneath the fragile architecture of their lies. Their whispers ride the wind like thorns waiting to catch on to my clothing, like small stones hidden in the path where my bare feet might stumble. One who once walked beside me, whose voice I knew well, whose footsteps matched mine on long and winding roads. Even he turned his gaze away, lifting his heel against me when I was already low to the earth. The ache of such betrayal cuts deeper than words can hold, deeper than the wound of sickness, deeper than the loneliness of night. Yet in all this I feel your presence steadying me, like a hand on my shoulder, like the firm roots of an oak holding ground in a restless storm. You do not abandon me to the hunger of those who desire my fall. You lift me upright even as the world tilts beneath my feet. You keep me from sinking even when the river runs fast and dark. You know my integrity, not perfect, not unbroken, but honest in its longing to walk in your way. You hold me in your light where the shadows of deceit cannot cling. You place me on a path that does not crumble beneath pressure, a place where truth grows like tall grass in the open meadow. The wind shifts, rustling through the branches above me, and I feel its cool touch on my face. It reminds me that you have always carried me, even when I did not sense it. Carried me through loss, through sickness, through the sting of betrayal, through the heaviness that settled like dusk across the quiet landscape of my soul. And now, as the sun rises higher, I sense a stirring in inside me. A slow, steady healing, like warmth spreading through frozen soil, like water reaching a thirsty root. Hope returns not with sudden blaze, but with quiet persistence, a soft flame growing stronger. Each time I breathe in your mercy, my footsteps feel lighter as I walk through the clearing, my heart expanding with gratitude that you have not let my enemies triumph, nor allowed my failures to define my days. You have held my dignity in your hands, shielded me from the cruelty of false tongues, and lifted me into the place where truth stands unshaken. Blessed are you, the one who sees the hidden wounds, the one who restores the weak, the one who turns sorrow into seed and seed into song. Blessed are you, who stays close when the world withdraws, who whispers healing where pain once made its home. So I walk forward, steadied by the quiet assurance that your compassion endures beyond my weakness, that your faithfulness outlives every storm, that your mercy holds my life with a love that does not fade. And in this truth my soul finds rest, not in perfect circumstances, not in the silence of trouble, but in the presence of the one who stands with me through every trembling moment, who keeps my steps and calls me his own. There are days when the world feels tilted, when the noise of restless hearts rises like dust in the wind, and anger tries to settle in the cracks of the soul. I walk through the open field at sunrise, breathing the cool air, watching the first light paint long strokes of gold across the quiet earth. And I feel a whisper inside me, a reminder, soft as a leaf turning toward the morning. Do not let your heart burn with the fires of the anxious. Do not be carried by the storms of those who chase harm. There is another way to stand. I pause by the old cedar at the edge of the valley, its branches heavy with time, its roots deep in stories the wind has forgotten to tell. And I rest my hands on its bark, feeling the slow pulse of something older than worry. It teaches me without speaking that trust grows where stillness is allowed, that faith is a seed planted in the soil of patience. So I lift my eyes and breathe again, letting the weight in my chest loosen. that goodness is not a lost river, nor hope a fragile bird in a winter. They are steady things, things that return even after the frost. The earth trembles sometimes with the footsteps of those who harm. Their shout rising above the hills, their pride marching forward like a parade of shadows. But shadows, no matter how long they stretch, cannot outlive the sun. And though injustice may roar for a moment, its voice thins like smoke in open sky. The ones who plant harm reap only the emptiness of their own withering fields. But those who trust in you inherit ground that does not crumble. They dwell in pastures that stay green, even in the weight of summer heat. Their peace is not borrowed, it grows from deep roots, fed by a river that never dries. I walk toward the hillside where wildflowers bloom. Their colors rise boldly from the soil, as if they know nothing of fear. And I think of how you delight in small things, in humble offerings of open hands, in hearts that wait without bitterness. I lay my worries in the grass there, letting the wind lift them like loose petals. I choose to trust, though I do not see the whole path. I choose to rest in the promise that your timing is like the movement of seasons, slow, sure, unforced. There is a quiet joy in committing the way of my days to you. Not a loud emotion, not a firestorm, but a steady warmth beneath my ribs. Like a lantern glowing in a dark room, like the warmth of sunlight beneath cold water. You bring justice in your time, like dawn revealing what was hidden. You lift the humble from the dust, you calm the trembling heart, you steady the shaken places inside me. And when anger tries to return, when the sight of the wicked flourishing stirs old aches, old resentments, I close my eyes and remember that their strength is grass in the dry wind. Their victories are early flowers that bloom brilliantly and are gone by noon. But the meek, the gentle, those who lean on you like a branch on a strong trunk, they inherit ground that stands through winter. So teach me to be quiet when fury calls my name, to remain soft in a world that hardens itself, to choose the long path of peace over the quick fires of vengeance. Let my steps fall in the rhythm of patience, in the melody of trust that hums beneath everything. Let my hands do good even when the world shakes, even when the night thickens. And when I stumble, when fear finds me again, when I wonder whether my small life matters in the great turning of the earth, you lift me with a tenderness I cannot explain. You steady me on the stones, you remind me that the righteous are not kept from trouble, but they are never abandoned in it. You hold their steps even when the path winds through thorns and shadow. I remember remember the days of the elders, those whose faces were lined with wisdom, who walked slowly, speaking gently, who trusted your goodness as naturally as breathing. They lived long in the land of peace, not perfect, not untouched by sorrow, but grounded, rooted, anchored in something the world could not take. Let me be like them, a witness to quiet faithfulness, a voice of calm in bitter places, a steady light in the windswept field. Let my life speak not with noise or fury, but with the There are mornings when the air feels heavier than rain, when even the light seems reluctant to rise over the ridge. I wake with a trembling in my chest, a quiet ache that coils itself beneath my ribs, as if the night left its shadow inside me. I walk slowly through the field, barefoot on the damp earth, hoping the ground will calm the storm that keeps circling inside my bones. I have felt the weight of my own failures, the way they echo against the inner walls of my soul. I've carried regrets like stones in my pockets, dragging them across seasons, until my steps grew uneven, my breath unsteady. And though no words are spoken aloud, my heart throbs with the heaviness of mistakes that cling like winter frost. The world around me continues its quiet rhythm, sparrows shaking dew from their wings, the old river moving with unheard certainty, the wind brushing through tall grass as if comforting the earth itself. But inside me another wind rises, a wind of sorrow, of memories that burn like embers pressed against the fragile parts of who I am. I lift my hands toward the empty sky, searching for a warmth I cannot yet feel. My voice strains in the silence, not loud, not bold, but shaped by longing, a longing for mercy to reach me. Even here, in the valley of my own undoing, I confess my weariness to the open air, hoping the wind will carry it somewhere it can dissolve into light. My wounds feel deeper than the surface, aching in places no one sees. They pulse with the reminder that I am not as strong as I pretend to be, that even the steady-hearted can tremble beneath the weight of sorrow. There are days when loneliness wraps around me like a cold river, when the closeness of others feels far away, and every step feels like walking uphill through thick, unseen fog. Those who once stood near do not hear the quiet cracks in my voice. Those who speak lightly of life do not notice the heaviness in my silence. who wish me harm in secret places watch from a distance, waiting for my steps to falter. But even in all this, I know that you see what others overlook. Nothing in me is hidden from your gaze. I find a fallen tree at the forest edge and sit upon its worn trunk. The bark is rough, but its solidity steadies me. I bow my head, letting tears fall quietly onto the moss below. Not tears of despair alone, but tears of release, the kind that slip out when the soul finally stops pretending it is unbreakable. My breath shakes as I whisper, I am ready to rise, but I cannot rise alone. My strength is thin as mist, my courage scattered like dry leaves. I wait not with impatience, but with the trembling surrender of someone who knows that healing begins with honesty. The sun begins to edge over the mountain, casting a slow amber glow across the clearing. The light touches my shoulders first, soft as a hand resting gently upon me. And in that warmth, I feel something loosen in the tightness of my chest. A flicker of hope, small as a seed but living, quietly unfolds. I lift my face toward that growing light, I let it rest upon the places that have been cold for too long. In that moment, I realize that even in my deepest ache, you are not distant, you are not silent. You are the breath beneath the heaviness, the whisper beneath the noise, the quiet strength that holds me up when my legs begin to tremble. I speak softly into the morning. Do not leave me, do not turn away from my shaking voice. I am fragile clay in this season, a vessel cracked by time and sorrow. Hold me as I am, lift me when I crumble, steady me when fear rises like a sudden tide. Do not let the darkness claim the last word. And though I still feel the weight in my bones, I also there are days when I choose silence over speech, when words feel too heavy, too sharp, too easily shaped by emotions that rise like sudden storms. I walk through the early mist, the kind that hides the earth in a soft veil, and I tell myself to guard my tongue, to keep my thoughts from spilling out in the heat of my unrest. The world is loud enough, I don't want to add noise to noise. But even in silence, my heart pulses with a burning ache, a restlessness I can't quite name. I hold my breath as if Quietness alone could calm the stirring inside. Yet the fire grows, pressing against the walls of my restraint. Finally the pressure breaks, and words form, not reckless but honest, rising like a fragile prayer, released into the open sky. Teach me how brief my days are, show me how fragile this breath is, how thin the thread that holds my life together. I feel it deeply, like a truth whispered by the wind itself, that we are travelers passing through fields that existed long before us, and will remain long after we fade. My life is a shadow stretching across the ground, a mist that glows in the sunlight and disappears by afternoon. We gather things, hopes, treasures, fears, but they slip through our fingers like river water. And still we cling, believing that accumulation will steady the tremble inside us. But I know better deep down, I know that my hope is not in what I build, not in the echoes of my own strength, but in you, the one who sees beyond the brevity, the one who holds my days, even as they fall like leaves in autumn wind. I breathe slowly, feeling the weight of my failures, the heaviness of choices I wish I could rewrite. I ask you to free me from the grip of all that binds me, from the sins that cling like burrs to my clothing, from the shame that settles deep in my bones. I stand exposed, no excuses left, no hiding place worth keeping. I lift my eyes toward the spreading light of morning, and I feel the quiet truth that even discipline, even the ache of correction, is a sign of love. A gardener pruning branches so that new life can bloom. But still I tremble beneath the weight of your gaze, not because you are harsh, but because you are holy in a way I cannot fathom. Your presence exposes the dust beneath my feet, the frailty beneath my strength. My beauty fades like a flower in the afternoon heat, and yet you do not turn away, you do not leave me to wither alone. So I whisper again, hear my cry, hold my tears as they fall. Let my sorrow be known to you, for you understand the language of the broken better than anyone who walks beside me. I am a foreigner here, a wanderer, just like my ancestors before me. Each of us trying to leave footprints in shifting sand, each of us hoping that something eternal will take root in our fleeting days. Look away from my discipline, just long enough for me to breathe again. Let me rest, let my strength return, let my heart rise from the dust. I do not ask to escape the truth, but to endure it with grace, with the quiet courage that comes from being held by your mercy. The morning brightens, the mist lifting slowly from the earth. As the light settles around me, I feel a small, steady peace growing within. Not loud, not triumphant, but real. A soft understanding that my breath, though brief, is known. My days, though fragile, are numbered with intention. My existence, though fleeting as a shadow, is wrapped in eternal love. And so I walk forward, measuring my steps not by fear, but by faith, trusting that even the smallest breath can carry meaning when it is held in your hand. I waited in the long silence, longer than the winter nights, longer than the breath between lightning and thunder. I waited with my forehead resting against the cold earth, listening for the sound of your steps, wondering if the echo of your promise would reach me again. The pit beneath me felt endless, a hollow carved from fear and sorrow, its darkness clinging to my skin like thick, unmoving mud. But then, in a moment, quieter than a leaf falling, you bent down. I felt it before I understood it. The shift in the air, the subtle warmth touching places in me. No light had reached for far too long. You pulled me up slowly, not with force, but with a gentleness that honored every bruise in the ground beneath my feet, changed from sinking mud to solid stone, a place steadier than my trembling heart. I stood there, breathing in the newness, the sky widening above me, the dawn spreading its first pale gold, and something opened in my chest, a space for gratitude to rise, a place for hope to unfold its tired wings. You gave me a song, not loud or wild, but shaped like truth, shaped like breath returning to a weary body, a melody woven from mercy, from the warmth of being seen. I sang it softly at first, afraid my voice would break, afraid the world would drown it out. But the more I sang, the stronger it became, carrying traces of the river's whisper, the hush of pines in deep twilight, the heartbeat of the earth awakening. Others heard it and some paused, drawn by the quiet honesty in the sound, as if it reminded them of something they once trusted but had forgotten. Blessed are those who choose trust over the glittering illusions of pride, those who do not chase the voices that promise gold and give only sand. Blessed are those who wait in the quiet and listen for the truth hidden beneath the noise of the world. You have done wonders beyond counting, stories too vast for my small tongue to shape, mercies woven into days I did not know how to carry. I offer myself, not with grand gestures or polished intentions, but simply, honestly, like a seed placed in open soil. You have never asked for hollow sacrifices, only a heart willing to open, to be reshaped, to rise from its old ashes into a gentler flame. Here I am, let my life echo your quiet call, let my days sing the melody you placed in me. I cannot keep this story closed inside my chest. It burns too brightly, spreads too widely through the meadow of my spirit. I speak of your faithfulness, even when my voice shakes. I tell of your steady kindness, even when I do not feel worthy of it. Your love is not a river that thrives only in sunlight. It flows even under ice, it finds the narrowest cracks, it reaches the lonely and the lost with unrelenting devotion. Still I am not blind to the dangers around me. Storms rise without warning, enemies whisper in the dark, doubts creep like vines through the fragile corners of my heart. My troubles come in waves, too many to count, too tangled to pull apart. My failures gather like thick clouds, and sometimes I cannot see my way through. I feel the weight, the unsteady breath, the trembling that begins in my hands and spreads to my soul. So I call to you again, do not delay. Let your mercy come running toward me, like rain breaking through drought. Let your love surround me, the way the forest wraps itself around the lonely wanderer. Let your strength be the quiet root beneath my shaking feet. Save me from the voices that celebrate my stumbling, from the shadows that rise to swallow my courage whole. But let those who seek you find joy that grows like wildflowers in unexpected places. Let their laughter return, let their hope breathe deeply. Let their steps be steady on the ground you prepare. Let them whisper again and again, you are my help, you are my shelter, you are the light that does not retreat.